Okay, folks, so we got a 2007 Fortuna. This has a check engine light that's on, and the customer said that he's losing power. So let's see if we can diagnose it for him. So what we have here is a 2007 Fortuna. It has the 1 kD engine. This customer said the check engine light is on, and he noticed that he's having a bit of a hard start. Okay, so let's hook up the scan tool. I'm going to use the Launch Pro 3S. Alright, this is actually one of the scan tools I got from Launch, and it's really impressive. Right, so this is the Smart Link that you see here. I'm going to leave the link down in the box if you need to get your hands on one, but it really is powerful. It has a lot of features that I'm definitely going to explore. All right, you got stuff like, well, let's load this down. Is it the radio? No, where that noise coming from? I'm not sure. All right, so with that, now you have a lot of features on this scan tool that has like everything from the lab scope to the scan tool. Right, you can use it for immobilizer problems, and also you can buy the attachments. Right, but we got the X431 Pro 3 Elite. So let's see if we can, confirm the customer problem first, and let's see how it goes. All right, starts right up. No, it doesn't. It just shut off. Oh no. So you definitely have a hard start. He said the check engine light is on, and the vehicle is hard starting. I'm not sure exactly if that's the that's the motor for the door switch or the actuator that's acting up on that side. All right, so let's do local diagnostics. Let's go into Toyota. All right, this is under the Europe market, not Latin America. So this is under the Europe area. So we gotta change that to Europe. Press OK. And let's see if we can automatic search and see what comes up. Sorry about the glare. It's really hot today. I'm gonna wind the glass down. It's hot. Extremely hot. Let's see what's going on. Normally the scan tool moves really quick, so I'm not sure exactly if it's because it's an older vehicle. So we're gonna look for Fortuna, and we're gonna pick 2007. This has width, and press OK. It's under 2004, so that's probably the range. 2004, 2007, 2009. That's the model. Okay. So it is an older vehicle. All right, so let's do a smart detection, and let's see what comes up. All right, so we scan the ECM. Let's see what 4 codes pop up, so we could look for some sort of direction, because as the customer did mention, he was driving along and then he felt like the vehicle lost all power and he barely made it home. Right, he also said that he tried to get in his driveway and wasn't able to. So we got 6 faults on the ECM. So we have here is a P0088 fuel rail system pressure too high. We got a P0193 large leak fuel system. P0193 fuel rail pressure circuit, sensor circuit input. So we gotta focus on that, and it just repeats itself. So we're gonna focus on this P0193 circuit too high. All right, so you gotta ask yourself, what can cause this fault? Right, because the sensor is on the rail, right, and if the ECU is not seeing the correct pressure, he's not gonna open the injectors. So you gotta ask yourself exactly what's going on to cause this. Could it be a faulty sensor? Yes, it could. It could be a harness issue. It could also be the ECU that's acting up. But he thought it was the injectors. I don't think it is the injectors, because the vehicle starts up It just takes long to start up. You just gotta hold the RPM and the key up and it does start. Alright, and let's go into the ECM and let's take a look at the fuel pressure. That's something we can do. We're gonna look at the target and we're gonna look at the actual and see what's going on, because I believe we do have a fault on that sensor, because the ECU is not seeing the pressure that it needs to see. It's not going to start this vehicle up. I mean, it did start the vehicle up now, but you know, once that pressure is not clear to the ECU, he's going to probably dump some default value or something like that just to get it started up, but that's not how this works. Okay, let's look this up. So right now we got let's combine the both of them. Alright, so what I'm seeing here is a lot of fuel pressure. I got about 250,000 kilopascal, which is a lot, but the target is at, let's say, 35,000 kilopascal, where I'm supposed to be close. So something definitely wrong with the fuel pressure, the actual. Alright, let's step on the X and let's see if it changes. No. So look, check engine light is on and the vehicle could move, but you hear that, you're hearing that noise. That's it, that's all I'm getting. I'm barely getting reverse. I'm seeing the target pressure moving and you're hearing like a fuel knock. Okay, so what I'm gonna do first, let's go in the hood. Let me switch this off. What is that noise? Anyway, oh, let's go in the hood. Let's take a look and see exactly what's going on. I like to do a visual first, see if we see anything along where we have a fault with the sensor. We could have a leak. We could also have a harness issue, right? And let's see what's going on. What can be the fault? All right, let's go in the hood. I believe I found the problem. So what you're seeing here is the harness is the issue, where the jack is deteriorating and causing it not to make proper contact on that sensor. That's why we're getting that circuit high. So it's like basically the ECU is not reading the pressure that's in the system and giving a default value. I want to let the customer know that we gotta replace that pigtail, because it's gonna, you see, it just broke off of that piece. It's gonna slip back out again if he don't get his hands on one. It probably was initially there, but I'm not sure if they touched it and broke it. I'm not seeing any pieces. And what happens is that is basically falling out and causing the vehicle to go into limp mode. So I'm just gonna put my hand on it, push it up a little bit. It's definitely breaking up. And let's see if we could clear the scan. Let's see if we could clear the full code using the scan tool. And if it starts right up. Okay, so I still got the scan tool hooked up, and there you have it. You saw the fuel pressure drop it off. So before it was reading like a high kilopascal, and now it's low. So let's come out from there. Let's read the full code. Sorry about the glare. We had that P0088 fault, the P0093 fault, and we got a P0193. Alright, so let's clear the full codes. Alright, all full codes cleared. Let's see exactly if we was able to fix this vehicle. Let's switch on, let's switch back on, and let's start up. There you have it. So that was the fix. We need a harness for the pressure sensor that's causing this vehicle to go into limp mode. So you see exactly why visual inspection is such an important thing. You don't jump to conclusion, you don't rush to tell the customer about the ECU and stuff like that. You just take your time and diagnose the vehicle. So let's read the fault code again. Alright. No fault code. Alright, and let's go into read data stream and let's look for the fuel pressure and let's look for the target. And there you have it. They are identical or close to. So this is actual, this is the target. And let's combine and let's, so you see they're both moving right now, and before they wasn't moving at all. So we're gonna call this a fix. So if you'd like to get your hands on this scan tool, again, this is the X431 Pro 3S, right, plus Elite, right, the multi all-purpose scan tool. Definitely, if you want to get into diagnosing, programming, coding, I highly recommend this scan tool. Right, I do have the smart link, and I plan on doing some more videos with this in the future to show you exactly how powerful this tool is. You know, I like to, you know, present these things to y'all so y'all can make a, you know, solid decision when you're buying scan tools, right? And yeah, it's definitely fixed. I'm expecting to see some black soot coming out the tailpipe or emissions because the vehicle has been driving in limp mode for a while. And let's see what's going on. Yeah. So you got a lot of black emissions leaving the tailpipe because the vehicle was in limp mode for a while. We got no check engine light. So since I don't have access to this jack at the present time, I'm going to see if I can get it secured, right, and let the customer know that we gotta replace that pigtail. Right, it look like it reached its end. So all right, let's put the key on. Let's see if the light come off. There you have it. The check light is off and the vehicle starts right up. No more hard start. So what exactly was happening was the ECU is not detecting the fuel pressure and causing a crank no start and limp mode basically. So I believe this definitely is a fix for this vehicle. We gotta replace that jack and it's supposed to be it. Alright, so the power of the visual inspection. Can't beat it. Always do a visual inspection before you tamper with anything, and that'll be the easy fix, right? So thanks for watching. It's a quick short one, straight to the point. I'm going to definitely play the codes off the system, and yeah, until next time, y'all take it easy. Peace.